Hello everyone, welcome back. So we're going to start transitioning into your part two because by now you should be having a formalized plan. We're week 3, week 4 here for your first report, which I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can revise that as part of your final. You're going to be moving into the start of part 2. So I want to talk a little bit about the idea of the system itself. And remember, first off, we have to be proactive. This is something you guys should be constantly doing with each other, constantly communicating how you're being proactive, and looking at your SWOT analysis. You should be thinking about ways and methods right now to use those weaknesses that you have and making them an opportunity, putting the threats into a weakness category and moving them into an opportunity category. Have you found a mentor yet that you need to work with them on? Have you worked with the other members of your team? You're starting the project now, and by now you should have met with your stakeholders at least once, and you should be formulating the plan and the charter to share with them, listening to what their mission is and what they need, what the end is in mind. You should have also conducted a short user task analysis. It might not be on their website if you're building something, but it might be something that you find 3 or 4 websites that the client or the stakeholders actually like, and you can test them and see what they like themselves about it to integrate all those parts into your plan, into your idea. This is being very proactive, thinking about how you can take things that are already out there and constructed, find out what the client or the stakeholder really enjoys about them, and integrate all those parts into one plan to start forming a solution for what you want to do for your stakeholders, your clients. And this is how we're going to work on that solution construction. We've got to talk to these people. We've got to test with them, find out what they like, because they might not know at all. Or some say, I really like this. I really went to this website. I like this. Or I really want my data to be able to be captured in this way. Or I'm only interested in having one sort of data pool or one sort of plan. The eminent and idea of actually using a data mart. Maybe that works for somebody, it doesn't work for somebody else. Maybe you have to talk about how, if they're just doing a data pool situation, where they're going to put this, where they're going to house it. Do you need more hardware? These are all parts of that solution you need to think about. And this is that data collection and gathering aspect we've been working on so hard that we really need to think about. What is the end in mind? Remember our example I talked about before, the Houston County Meals on Wheels project. The gang had to first understand what the stakeholders wanted to happen. They wanted to raise funds, get more volunteers, and get meals to more people out there. So they had to do multiple tests to find out that nobody could use the website and the age group that was looking to use it. So they had to find senior citizens willing to spare some time to UTAs to find out what was working, what was not working, and start to put that together as a solution for how to correct it. Then show them examples of where it's already working and find things that the stakeholders like and could all agree on and the test subjects or the participants actually worked with. You have to think about this. And then they added the e-commerce idea to get their fundraising into a suitable range that they wanted to where it was feasible and on their website and everything in one place. This is the foundation for the project. Remember, your charter should be accepted by now and is very clear. It should have the end in mind. It should have testable solution points, milestones for you to be working at. You should have kind of a prototype on your paper for this second report, and you'll be working on it well. You should have some stakeholders' comments too for me to listen to and regard. These are very interesting points, and you should be reflecting on them as a team constantly and continuously talking to each other. Remember the social aspect. It's one of the key parts of this course as well. We're looking for you to have a real-world impact. The Meals on Wheels program has a real-world impact to where now they're receiving a lot of donations and double the volunteer time. And now they're looking for help to create volunteer charting. We have to look at all these things and place all the facts that we have into a controllable scope. If you can't do this, you're going to get out of control. So you start considering your solution now, but remember the biggest thing is keeping that scope and control in a manageable aspect. You're going to have to continuously look back at your charter and say, what do we agree on? I know that the client wants this, but our charter says this. Maybe this is the team that picks it up in the next semester. Maybe we come back as a social entrepreneurial group and we do it for them after the class. You don't have to be afraid to say no. Make sure your scope is doable and agreed upon and in your charter. If not, rework that scope statement until it's refined. And I say refine that work schedule as well. This is very important that you guys keep going over and making sure you're clear and staying in the scope and along with the charter that's agreed upon. We should start identifying the parts right now. This is where your world really starts to come into play. What are the best scripts or the elements needed? Should you be looking at a network structure or the network they have? Is it suitable? Will it work? Do you need to redesign hardware for them or create a work schedule to help them just alone understand what they need as a functional part of hardware to get this project on the ground? What are the design elements that are most important that you guys should be working in? If you're working on an agile flow methodology, making sure that all these parts are going to meet up when they need to at the milestones. This is something you're going to have to think about deeply as well. You can't let one part lag and another succeed. Make sure the team can justify all these parts. Make sure they can justify the concept and the scope. Make sure you all agree on the scope. Have you identified leadership roles? I hope so. You need to think about this and making sure you're effectively communicating to yourselves and more importantly to the stakeholders. You should be doing this once, twice a week. This is not a fluid process to where you can just willy-nilly take on a part and say, well, let's communicate in 2 weeks. You should be reaching out to each other and monitoring each other's progress on online chats, through engaged communications online, and or meeting together. You're also putting together the budget planning now. And again, I'm going to have you guys go back to your past texts. Look at everything that needs to be in that construction and how you do that. Look at the fixed and variable costs. Make sure you're talking about them to your client so they understand and can't bite off more than they can chew. If they tell you they have a budget of $50, don't give them a $5,000 budget. You have to be very clear and upfront and honest with these people. If there's an expected earned value, you need to put that into your budget planning. And you need to condone that message to the stakeholders as well. They will be interested in understanding this and might be able to free up more money from another budget allocation of theirs into yours if they see earned value. Don't be afraid to point these material things out to your clients. They're asking for your expert opinion. And right now, you guys are moving into the expert field. Pretty soon, you will be working full time. This should be a test to tell yourself if you're truly ready or if you need more education or if you need to go back and repeat courses or learn more and get mentors to help you. This is also part of that SWOT analysis I keep preaching about that you need to honestly talk about. Do you have a continuity plan in place in case something does happen in that team? That's something you should really think about. If not, I would include that into your plans right now. And are there any forces outside of what you're looking at? Can you think of anything that may cause the problem in the budgeting, may cause something to hang up? Is there any weather anomalies that may be happening? If you're trying to buy a part and it's coming from overseas, that it might not get here in time, or you may have to pay extra shipping for. I know this is hard to plan on, but these are things you have to think about. Remember, this is not brain surgery or rocket science. That's why Krug wrote the books, saying that we have clear goals in mind, clear scopes in mind. As a team, we need to keep going over these elements of the project management. We need to think about our time management plan, our cost management plan, quality management plan, of course, and how we're going to measure and test all this as we go. I want to see this in your reports. We tested it this way and we were able to measure by X. If you don't know how to measure something, maybe you should talk to one of your peers or a mentor, another professor. Buy a copy of Hubbard's How Do You Measure Anything book and read it. And as a group, talk about the best ways to pull this off. How will you measure your quality assurance? What elements need to be in there? At what milestone will you measure? Will you think about using different Japanese philosophies about how to guide yourselves into quality control? Maybe you want to go back over some of those things you read before. Maybe you want to look at Nonaka. He's one of the most popular out there. He's a phenomenal writer and academic who wrote about Japanese culture and why they're so successful. It's because of team community construction that they have, and everybody has equal parts. Maybe you buy one of their books and read them. Remember to identify risks and tell this to your client. They do not know everything that you do know. They have not taken IT courses and information science courses. They don't know how to do this. They don't understand a lot of times how to respond to risk or plan for it, or business continuity. Don't be afraid to point these things out if you see problems. Your client will respect you for this. Gang, I'm happy as the progress is coming along now. I can't wait to see more. I'm excited. This is a wonderful journey we're on together. I look forward to everything, and let's get rolling a little more. I look forward to your next reports and more great success stories. Have a great day, everyone. Get out there in the sunshine too. Ride a bike. Go for a run. Go for a swim. Go to the library. Read a book. Pet your dog. Pet your neighbor's dog. Do something for yourself besides just work today too.